Ali, thank you for joining. We'll allow you to be the last one to introduce yourself. Could you tell us what year are you in school, what are you studying, and why did you take this course? Ali has left the meeting. I guess I scared him. Sorry, Ali. Um, just looking for a little participation. Okay, with that said, I'm going to share my screen after I open up my slide deck presentation. Okay, so we are at this point all familiar with the 7 C's, correct? Can you guys see my screen? I want to make sure it's visible. Can I just get a comment
Yeah,
there?
we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you, Emily. Okay, so a little bit about me. I'm a guest lecturer here in this course, and I have been brought on to help, hopefully, show where these concepts actually intersect with the real world of business. I am a marketing and sales leader, having led or been in kind of quasi leadership roles at several technology companies over the last 7 to 10 years. Have an undergraduate degree from the University of Tennessee in Spanish and Communications, a master's from the University of Oklahoma, international relations, but most importantly, I've been in the world of business for many, many years. And what we're going to talk about this week as relates to the 7 C's is creativity. Creativity, one of the more exciting, one of the more, dare I say, fun of the 7 C's, when you're able to be creative and leverage your creativity to create value for your company and ultimately for your clients. Emily, I can think in your role how fun it would be to be creative and designing beautiful new homes. But in every job, there's always an opportunity to be creative, even in the most mundane tasks. We find there's opportunities to add creativity and add value. Before we jump into that, though, I'd like to also, part of what I do in these presentations is talk about words and language that we can use or not use that will help us be more persuasive and influential and hopefully more effective when we're communicating both with our colleagues and most importantly with clients. Here, we're going to talk about the words show and tell. I think it's pretty obvious here. We've all, I think, heard the aphorism, show, don't tell, as a form of good writing, meaning don't say someone is angry when you're writing something, right? They stomped their feet and huffed out of the room, right? Obvious. But the word itself, show, is also quite powerful versus tell. We'll get more into that later in the presentation. But I want all of you, as you think about career, oh, we got someone joining a few minutes late. I'm going to let them in. Sorry, gang. Mohammed, thank you for joining. We're already into it. We're going to keep rolling. Okay, so getting back to the creativity after we talk about show and tell. So the last role I had prior to joining my current company, I was at a company called Sonic U, and we made a temperature monitoring solution, a device that was roughly the size of like a charger that would go, be used to charge your computer. And it went inside of fridges and freezers to keep the temperature in order to tell those freezers were working appropriately. Because if a freezer is holding scientific research, like is the case across many laboratories on ASU campus and countless university campuses across the country, as well as in healthcare and animal care environments, there are many drugs, blood, plasma, tissue, organs, and that are highly temperature sensitive. Okay. And we made this device that tracked the temperature. And if the temperature went out of spec, we would send you a text or call you. So one of the things I was charged with doing in my marketing role was trying to add creativity to our marketing. We were making a very prosaic, very straightforward, unsexy kind of accessory product that was essentially an insurance policy, right? If your freezer died, it would alert you, but you were hoping that you never actually had to use this product, that your freezer never died or had an issue. And so one of the ways that I thought it'd be creative to do that was, you know, giving our refrigerator or freezer an actual personality, and then allow them to speak to a prospect a way a person would, right? So what I did was invented Fred the Freezer. And these are emails that I sent out, cold emails, to try to generate interest in our product. And you can see some of the language I wrote there. Hi, my name is Fred the Freezer, and I'm not feeling so well. I've been working so hard for so many years to keep your contents at a steady temperature, but something's just not right. You better call maintenance for help. My cousin was suffering the same, and they said it could be a malfunctioning fan, a failing compressor, an electronic control board, or even a faulty seal, right? So essentially here, one of the rules that I put all marketing campaigns or all marketing products through is, A, don't be boring, right? The world is full of boring content that is easy to look over and forget about. And secondly, don't sound like your competition. The minute you can take what you're saying and apply it to your competition, you're boring, you're forgettable, you're just part of the backdrop of which, you know, we are all subject to. So one of the things I try to do was layer in the creativity and give a refrigerator or a freezer a personality, the same way we might a car or a boat that we often actually think of as of a him or a her, right? So this is just one example of how, when you're in the world of business, you're going to have to apply creativity to ultimately create value. So I did this whole series of Fred the Freezer. He ran on social media. He ran on email marketing. It ultimately was a way for our brand to stick out a little bit. Okay, so that's the first example from my background. My current role is at a company that makes AI dash cameras that go inside of commercial vehicles. And you're probably not aware, because I certainly wasn't prior to taking this role, but there is this incredibly pernicious and really quite scary racket out there of staging car accidents with big rigs in order to go after insurance money, which can oftentimes equate to 6 and 7 and even 8-figure settlements if the injuries are serious enough. So again, trying to be creative, trying to stand out, trying to make your brand feel different, we created these ads here that made our cameras look like they're part of a law firm, Vision and Vestige. Vestige is the name of the company, and Vision is like obviously what an AI dash cam allows you to do. And what we've done is run these on social media, run these on our website, and show our customer in a fun and clever way that we understand the world they live in, that we know they have this very unique problem they're facing as commercial vehicle operators, and that our solution is specially designed to help them fight those, meaning we've got this mobile app. So if your truck gets in an accident and the highway patrol is up there writing you up for an accident, you can actually pull the phone out, get the footage in real time, and show the police officer on the scene, no, in fact, the person who is saying that I cut them off, they cut me off. And this may in fact be one of these scams that is quite dangerous and has even led to some fatalities in some of these car accidents. So again, the ability to be creative, to add value to an organization. I'm lucky that I live in the world of marketing. I think most of you, when you watch television or see billboards or interact with ads online, know there's just a ton of value associated with being creative in the advertising world. So these are some examples here as it relates to my current role. And then finally, one of the ones that I am more interested in, but not more interested in, more proud of than the other two, was a program I rolled out at a job several jobs ago at a company called Synovia Solutions. We had an app called Here Comes the Bus. Here Comes the Bus was an app that tracked the school bus for parents to be able to see when and where the bus was going to arrive at their neighborhood to pick up their children, so they wouldn't miss the bus in the morning, right? And what we did was create a rewards program around America's safest school bus driver. And we were able to take the analytical data off of the fleet tracking solution that's inside of the school bus and give drivers a grade based on how safe they are, meaning how little they sped, or harsh braking, or harsh acceleration, or if they were in their seatbelt. We had all these characteristics and criteria we could measure, create a grade, and then stack rank the drivers against each other and create this program called America's Safest School Bus Driver, in which we're able to give drivers rewards via the app for safe driving. This was an incredibly complex exercise that involved school districts, our company, the individual drivers, parents who were able to rank their drivers based on some characteristics as well. But it was incredibly creative and fun and meant to be interactive. And again, a great way to create value for your client. These are 3 examples of applying creativity ultimately to, in my case, in the marketing and sales world, to drive interest in a product or to drive loyalty for a product. But I think you can see in each of these, there's a wide array of creative facets or endeavors one has to kind of like leverage or rely upon to bring these to bear. So there's not ever just one way to be creative. Okay, finally, getting back to the this or that, what words can we use to be more influential, persuasive, and ultimately help our companies be successful? You know, we talked earlier about showing versus telling, right? It's easy to tell someone they are great. It's harder to show someone they are great, or show someone when they've done a great job, or show others when someone has done a great job, right? How do you show that? With a gift, with a reward, with an award, with some sort of like ceremony. But as you can imagine, it takes much more effort. Showing means the actual act of doing something, right? So as you go out in your career and think about the words that you use, I want you to hopefully always be very thoughtful about saying this or that. And there's nothing wrong with telling people things, but it's almost always better if you can show how you feel, how you think, how something is. It will often have a bigger impact and be much more well received in the ability to achieve whatever your goals are. Okay, so I know we went through quite a bit there, but that was 18 minutes. Do we have, hopefully, any questions before I let you all go for the evening? It sounds like not. Okay. Hopefully you all got your screenshots and you are all good for your extra credit. Thank you all so much for joining. I wish you all a great rest of the semester, and please take good care. Thank you all. Have a great evening.